Good morning to everybody. Thank you very much. I spent 10 years in county government here in Chautauqua County, 2 as county executive, and I'm well aware of the challenges our boards of elections face, especially in upstate New York, where resources are scarce. So my question is, with all of these new additional unfunded mandates at this point, is there any plan to give counties the additional funding to cover the cost of these postage page return envelopes? That's my first question.
I like to say, with regard to the mandate issue in the primary, it was a semi-funded mandate as opposed to a no-funded mandate. Receiving the CARES Act money, approximately $20 million, the state of New York, and certainly with the problems of the fiscal crisis, the governor's office and the Division of Budget, through many conversations we had with them, came up with a way to say that they would pay the $4 million state match or state local match. So our office turned all of that money into a grant reimbursement for county boards. We didn't keep any of it here because we knew the challenges on the front line of delivering services were theirs more so than ours. Not that we don't have our own challenges, but we knew it was greater there and they had a greater need. So all of that money is prorated to reimburse county boards for the extraordinary cost of administering this election in a pandemic, whether that's people or services.
So it's $4 million for the whole state?
It's $24 million for the whole state. 20 of that is federal, $4 million is state.
Okay. But that 24 million, I'm sorry, Senator, that 24 million was distributed already, and that would include all the costs that would have been incurred for the June primaries, because there were 2 primary elections and special elections. So there's been no additional funding available made specifically for the November election.
So for the November election, there's no additional funding, yet we're going to have obviously a huge influx of absentee ballots that are now going to need to be sent out with return envelopes. Then we're going to have the cost of returning those, counting them expeditiously and accurately, accounting for those absentee ballots. And there's no funding currently that has been allocated from the governor's office or anyone else. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. But at present, there is no requirement that they be postage paid. That was in the primary.
Okay,
certainly, as co-director Valentine and I have had conversations with the governor's office, we have said it's very important, and I'll be clear, that decision be made in July. We're now in August, and we don't have an answer. And the answer could be simply, we're not going to do it so that we can move on and not wait and know what to plan for, or we're going to do it. But either way, we don't have that answer. It is now almost impossible to turn that around. It takes a period of time to send out 13 million pieces of mail, forget paying for it. And that would dramatically increase. So we are putting our energies into the portal that you have already passed in Chapter 91, and you are amending to take the 30-day away. So that could start sooner and encourage people to use that if we can, as possible.
Thank you, Commissioner. I appreciate that. So I want to be clear. So you're saying if the governor makes that change, that you consider it technically impossible to actually execute that, which is what you just said, should he make a change now inside this 74 days before early voting?
I think that's safe to say yes. Right. It's 13 million pieces of mail, and it at least takes 20 days to get that mail. Once the mailing is signed off, postage is paid and agreed to, that those 13 million people would actually receive it. That's putting us well into the other side of Labor Day, which is now no time for the boards to turn those pieces of paper into approved applications.
So it goes without saying then that should he ask and do an executive order saying that we're going to turn this into 100% mail-in, that would be not only impossible, but would create chaos and would ultimately lead to the loss of confidence in the accuracy of the ballots that are received. Should he try to force feed an all mail-in election?
Well, I was good agreeing to you up to that point, other than I will say this. I think it would be extremely challenging, and I think if the boards are going to need to do that, they will need significant resources above and beyond that which is identified to have a chance to meet that challenge.
Thank you very much.